Very much. Hydrangeas are a gorgeous addition to yards around Oregon, but when it comes to maintenance, when are you supposed to prune those big, beautiful blooms for the next season? Turns out, right now. KZI 9 News morning anchor Chelsea Deffenbacher has more details in this week's In the Garden, sponsored by Johnson Brothers Garden Market.
I'm here with Caleb Johnson out at Johnson Brothers Garden Market, and this is the time of year that we want to trim back our hydrangeas. So can you walk us through how to do that?
Yeah, this can be a difficult subject, but I'm going to try to make it super easy for everybody. So October is a great time to prune your macrophylla, the big leaf mop head type hydrangeas, because they're already setting their buds for next year. So you want to get them pruned now and not next year and risk the chance of pruning out your flowers. So if you look behind you, we've kind of pruned these up in a nice shape, and that's kind of what you want to be looking for in your hydrangea. But the most critical thing is, if you see that one branch we kind of left there that's really tall, we do want to prune that out to have a nice shape. But if you look down there, you'll actually see a bud set. Now, a bud set is going to be where you're going to get next year's flowers from. So you don't want to cut that out. You don't want to cut too far above it. So you want to cut just above that bud set. And sometimes you'll see multiple bud sets on a stem, and it's okay to prune out 2 or 3. Just don't cut all of them out. So go ahead, and if you want to give that one a snip. The other thing with your macrophylla hydrangeas is you can, if they are really floppy, you can go ahead and give them a hard cutback where you're taking out 1/3 to half the plant. You might cut out some of next year's blooms, but if it's a really floppy hydrangea, it's time to give it a hard cutback. So moving on to the hydrangeas that bloom on new wood, those are going to be your panicle hydrangeas, the ones that can take sun or shade, and then your smooth hydrangeas like Invincible, the Annabelle types. Now these are cool because they're not really that fussy about when you prune them. You could prune them now in October. You could also wait all the way until spring into April to prune them. And I brought a few examples. You can see I've got some that are pruned back, I've got some that need pruned for shape, and then I've got some that are just so heavy the flowers have like literally made this plant almost need a full cutback. So what I'm going to have you do is just show people on the new wood hydrangeas how non-picky you can be for pruning.
Well, that's going to do it for In the Garden. Back to you in the studio.